Hello everyone and welcome to Book Talk Tuesday. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a book that I actually haven't finished reading yet, which is not something I recommend to do for book talks. But this book so far is that amazing that I want to share it with you now. So earlier this month I did tell you I was going to be sharing with you two Jason Reynolds books. So this will be the second one that I'm sharing with you now. And this book is also a nonfiction book. So we got a good range of different types of books this month. Graphic novel, fiction, nonfiction, great. So hopefully by the time this video is uploaded, which is at the end of February, I'll be done with the book. But I'm reading it along with a bunch of other teachers, so that's why it's taking me so long. Because if I wasn't reading it for a book club, I probably would have finished it ages ago. So this book is Stamped. Racism, Anti-Racism, and EU. So Stamped is so at the bottom here it says a remix of the National Book Award winning Stamped from the Beginning. So what does that mean? So this book has been remixed by Jason Reynolds for a young adult audience. The original book that's based off of Stamped is by Ibram X. Kendi. Was written for adults. But it has a lot of important information about the history of racism within the United States within it that Jason Reynolds thought it was important enough to remix it so kids and young adults can read the book and understand it a little bit easier. So he sort of brings it down to language and all of that young adults would be able to read. A fun fact about Ibram X. Kendi, who wrote the original Stamped and also writes the intro to this book, he is actually a graduate of the county I work for. So he went to Forest Park High School in Prince William County where I work, and that's just super duper cool. That somebody that graduated from the school system I work for ended up writing an amazing book alongside Jason Reynolds. So the first thing I want to say before I get into what the book is about, even though I've already said what it's about, the audiobook is what I'm currently listening to as I read this. Is amazing. Jason Reynolds is the one that's reading the book, and he has one of the best voices ever, and the way that he reads the book is just captivating. So if you're able to, I highly recommend reading this book or listening to this book audio, or even doing what I'm doing, which is listening and reading along, which is the only way that I can really do audiobooks, but that's just my personal preference. So Stamped so far, from what I've read so far, starts at the beginning of U.S. history and the idea of slaves being brought over to the United States, and sort of goes step by step. It's broken up into chunks and talks about certain aspects of history. The most recent chapter I read was about Thomas Jefferson and his history with his slaves, along with how he was influenced by certain writings and his opinions on things, and how he wasn't that great of a person because he contradicted a lot of what he believed by what he did. So this book does really get into the details and the nitty-gritty, but it also does it in a way that is easy to understand and is interesting to learn about. This book's very eye-opening, especially for white people, just as another way to say it. I'm finding it very, very enlightening because none of this stuff was taught to me when I was in school, and I think it's really important for us all to learn this stuff. And it feels like it's a little too late in the sense of this is stuff we should have been learning years and years and years ago. But I'm very glad that it's something that can be taught in classrooms now. So this is a book I'd love to teach one of these days, or at least do a book talk with students, because I really love our book club, not a book talk, book club. We're already doing the book talk. A book club with students, because I think the information that's in this book is really, really important for students of all backgrounds to know about. So hopefully that'll come in the near future. But I definitely recommend Stamped, especially if you are curious about Black Lives Matters movements, why that's such a big thing right now, why I'm talking about this stuff now. If you want to know why this stuff is so important and you want to educate yourself, especially if you're not Black, definitely check out this book. I highly, highly recommend it. It's just eye-opening, and I really wish that I had learned a lot of this stuff when I was in school. And it's a shame that I didn't, but that's what being a grown-up is, and being able to choose the stuff that I read. I can learn about this stuff now, right? So that's all I gotta say about that. Definitely check out Stamped, the audiobook and the book, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Wondering Wednesday. Bye.